Good morning. My name is Amy Ricketson, and I'm a member of this congregation and your worship associate today. On behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, today's speaker, Valerie Bayless, intern minister, Liz Martin, director of religious exploration, Lexi T. Brown, our music director, Alex Peach, and the greeters and technical team that are making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with a mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, whom you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, all are welcome here. Welcome to all that are joining us remotely. For any visitors who are here with us for the first time, and if you're comfortable doing so, would you please stand and tell us your name and where you're from so we can get to know you better? Are there any visitors on my right today? Any visitors on my left? No? Okay. We joyfully welcome children and families in worship. The sound of children are part of a living congregation. For busy hands of all ages, there's a fidget corner at the back of the sanctuary. I have some announcements. On Saturday, July 18th, our Earth Ministry is partnering with a nonprofit clothing swap group for a community-wide event. Folks can bring their gently used clothing and then swap. You can find more information on Facebook at Clothing Swap Georgia. That's all one word. And then finally, I want to acknowledge Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers, father figures, and mentors who have shaped us with love, guidance, and presence. Today we celebrate the many ways you've shown up, whether a traditional family, a blended house, a chosen role, or in a unique journey. We honor your strength, your care, and the impact you've had on those you've loved and supported. And to those of you who this is a day that may be challenging, whether due to personal circumstances, loss, or other struggles, please know that you're seen and remembered. Your resilience and love you've given, or the love you still hold dear, matter deeply. We're thinking of you and wishing you peace, understanding, and comfort today. May this day bring you a moment of connection, gratitude, and kindness, and may be a reminder that fatherhood, in all its forms, is about love, commitment, and being there. And now, let us greet each other with the hand or elbow of friendship.
Today's call to worship is To an Old House by Rick W. Cotton. What have you seen in your 100 years? If asked, what would you say? Of the dozen families that lived in your walls? Of the hundreds of children at play? Did the boys slide down the banister rail to a mother's angry scolding? How many laughs and how many tears have marked the years unfolding? Every time a floorboard creaks The sound tells a story. 100 summers in their heat, 100 Christmas glories. Here in this kitchen, a dozen mothers have left their stories behind. Open the cupboards and look and see. There a tale you'll find. Old recipes on yellowed paper, phone numbers scribbled on doors, a catalog from 65 and 1950s floors. 100 years of living these walls have seen each day. A dozen families loved this place, then sadly moved away. And now you sit empty, forlorn. Your dusty halls are still. But memories linger in these walls, and memories always will. Do ghosts hide here in your shadows? Are secrets there hidden well? Oh, that you could only speak the tales that you could tell. To walk your halls in quiet step, just listen, hear the story that an old house can clearly tell in matchless oratory. I am the years gone by, and yet I welcome you within. This empty house can be your home. A new tale can begin.
Our chalice lighting today is Time Stands Still by Neil Peart. I let my past go too fast, no time to pause. If I could slow it all down like some captain whose ship runs aground, I can wait until the tide comes around. Make each impression a little bit stronger, freeze this motion a little bit longer, the innocence slips away. Summer's going fast, nights growing colder, children growing up, old friends growing older, experience slips away. And please rise if you're willing and able to join us in singing hymn 149, Lift Every Voice and Sing, from the hardback hymnal. this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them, and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you're so moved, please feel free to come forward, state your name, and drop a pebble into the bowl and express a sorrow may you have. For those attending via the live stream, if you have a joy or sorrow and you'd like to share it this morning, please type it in the chat.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day. So I have two pebbles of joy that I want to share with you. One is for Father's Day. I have 3 children, and this afternoon I'm going down to the Atlanta Fan Fest at Centennial Olympic Park with one of my children to watch a World Cup soccer game. 2 of my favorite things are spending time with my kids and watching World Cup soccer. I get to do both here in just a couple hours, so excited about that. And second is last Wednesday, June 17th, I had the good fortune of being in Atlanta the entire morning. There was an interfaith prayer service, which I know many of you know about. There was a pilgrimage for voting rights to the Capitol, and then a number of events in the state Capitol, and I was very honored to be part of that. UUMAN had a really strong presence there. Reverend Day was there. Bree Boyd was one of the organizers. And there were several other folks there who I enjoyed being with, and I really felt connected and honored to be part of this community. And Atlanta has a long tradition of civil rights, and it just felt amazing to be part of that in this particular time. And last thing I'll say is I really feel from Wednesday that the winds are changing in our favor, that people really are hungry for good government with, rooted in compassion and wisdom, and I'm pretty joyful about that too. Thank you.
My name is Paula Watson, and I'm a member of this congregation. I have 2 joys. One is the combined Father's Day and my daughter's birthday, which happened 44 years ago as well. And I'm going to see her next week. As many of you know, she lives in Ireland. And the other sort of dovetails on the soccer. It is that I can't believe the wonderful craziness and colorfulness and singing that has come to our country with these soccer teams. It just feels so good to think that we are a part of a world with joy.
I'm Shelley Negrani, and I'm a member of this congregation, and I have 2, not sorrows, but concerns and a joy. And one is that my husband, Ashok, had to get his gallbladder removed. It was very, very badly infected, and he's been having to have IV antibiotics, and now they've stopped, thank goodness, because they were making him very weak. And then I'll make it also a joy because he is getting better. And I also have a pebble of sorrow for my poor dog Moti, who's got 2 infections and a big sore, and he's blind and has dementia, but he's hanging in there, and I love him a lot, so. And then I have a pebble of joy because Ashok's son is the kind of person who is coming over for Father's Day and isn't asking me to cook. He's bringing his food with him, so.
I'm Sarah Hunter and a member, and I actually have 2 joys. One was I was a volunteer for the UUGA. I got to hit mute and unmute on the Zoom call, so it was wonderful. And the other is I learned how to make sourdough bread from Rachel. And oh my God, is that what? Oh my God, I can't be making that much bread. But it's a great testament to things you get to win at the auction. So it was wonderful.
Joy and sorrow for everyone.
I'm Richard Bomba, a member, and I have a record 4 rocks to toss in the pond. If I can remember them all. First, I'm very thrilled that my hernia surgery went well 6 weeks ago now, and I'm all recovered. Yay! Yay, Pebble. That was a big one. I waited way too long on that one. Okay, number 2. Okay, this is a pebble of sorrow, and I'm much better now because I couldn't share the sorrow at first because it was too tender to my heart. But 3 weeks ago, my ex-husband of 27 years passed away. And many of you know that it was a difficult divorce for me, and which brought me here to recover. And I even harbored him for 6 weeks when he was looking for his apartment. But anyway, he's passed away due to complications with diabetes. It's sad. He was only 69 years old. He could have lived another 20 years should he have taken care of himself. Number 3, I went to a chamber music retreat in Demarest. It's Piedmont University. They hold it every year. Last weekend, and I got to play with 33 very fine musicians for 19 hours over 3 days on my violin, playing quartets and piano trios, and oh my God, it was like heaven for me. So 3 days of amazing chamber music. And number 4, I have joined Michael O'Neill Singers for the summer. And when I'm telling you, it is a challenge from going from to, it was something else. 150 voices, full pipe organ, double pianos, a tenor section that sound like they're all opera singers all around me. And I'm going to learn a whole lot about singing from Mr. Michael O'Neill, amazing course director. A thrill, and this would all only happen because of one person. We all know who that is right over there. So thank you.
I'm Linda Etheridge, and my husband Lawton is too shy to come up and say, but a little over a week ago, his neck brace came off that he'd worn for 3 months. So his fracture has healed. A little unsteady still, but he's on his way.
So this isn't really a pebble, but I just...
What's your name, please?
Oh,
Please state your name.
Meredith Hall, sorry about that. I am a member of UUMAN. And I'm so thrilled for Richard that he joined the Michael O'Neill Singers this summer. And I'm not even doing it this summer, but it's very exciting. I'm very excited for him and for that opportunity. And I know how much Alex has helped me improve as well. So that just is a little heart. But my joy is that some of you who know me know that I've been into sailing for a long time, and I belong to the Atlanta Yacht Club, which is on Lake Allatoona, and I finally bought my own boat. It's a Y-Flyer. It's very old, and the guy practically gave it away to me, but it won't sink, and it has all the rigging and decent sails, and so it's going to be a lot of fun to play with that. So that's my joy. And And my other joy is just that I'm sharing in how it feels like things are, I don't want to jinx it, but it just feels like there's more joy and hope surrounding us lately. And the swamp in DC is literally a swamp, which is like the perfect metaphor for the current administration. And I'm just so happy. And the Atlanta Dream kicked Caitlin Clark's butt last night. So woohoo! So those are my joys.
Hi, I'm Bruce Langston. I often sit there or there and want to stand up here and say something, but I usually don't. But this morning, I just decided to go ahead and say a few words. The first is that I'm very happy for Father's Day, and I'm happy to be a father to my son Dylan, who was raised in this church, and he sent me a picture yesterday. So if you want to see what Dylan looks like now, check with me after the service. And the second thing is, I just want to read a poem, The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Hi, I'm Mike Chambers. This is a pebble of joy and gratitude. We just dropped off the Family Promise truck. The two lovely families spent 3 weeks here at UUMAN, and this is for all the volunteers that made it happen. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Miguel. I'm a member of the technical team, and I have a joy from the chat today from Daniel Paw. It's a joy that his wife, Erin, is back home from the hospital after battling meningitis this week. And another pebble for the turnout that he heard about for the solstice event yesterday.
And I'm going to drop one final pebble for all the joys and sorrows still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. Let's keep each other in our thoughts this week.
When I put myself on the schedule to give the sermon today, I fully expected to write a humorous ode to standing on the edge of age 60 and all the ways that my life is not at all what I'd expected. Divorced. Tomorrow actually marks 7 years since I caught my ex-husband cheating, but that is an absurdist comedy for another day. A teetotaler. I've been sober from alcohol since June 1st, 2018. Or in the pulpit of a UU church in Georgia, of all places. But as I noodled this message around, what kept creeping into my mind was remembering probably the most unexpected place I've found myself in recent memory. Standing on a curb in Forsyth County last April at the No Kings rally, protesting my own president and my own government, next to a fourth grader who reminded me a lot of me. And as I said to her, I never expected to be here doing this. In the summer of 1976, I was 10 years old. Some of you may remember 1976. Gas was 90 cents a gallon. A new pickup would cost you about $5,400, and $45,000 could buy you a new house. The #1 song was Silly Love Songs by Paul McCartney and Wings. And the #1 TV show was MASH. And in the summer of 1976, America was cheerfully gearing up for its 200th birthday, the bicentennial. 100 sail-rigged tall ships were making their way to New York Harbor to accompany an epic fireworks display on July 4th. A friend reminded me that the Treasury even minted 2 million bicentennial quarters with George Washington on the front and a Minuteman on the back. I even had a bicentennial lunchbox. No Barbie or Little House on the Prairie for me. I had Washington, Jefferson, and Ben Franklin. Patriotic little nerd. Cities and towns hoisted the stars and stripes alongside the flag with the original 13 stars. My hometown of Corning, New York, located in a county named after Revolutionary War hero and Hessian Baron von Steuben, repainted the neglected old Benjamin Patterson Inn, our only surviving building from the period. People donned 18th century attire and tricorn hats and marched in parades featuring Continental Army drummer boys and fife players. Because 200 years after its founding, and 110 years after the calamity of the Civil War, America felt once again solid and grateful to celebrate, because in 1976, America had recently survived 2 seismic events. First, the end of the Vietnam War in 1975. Ending a conflict that had tested the country's resolve as America's first truly televised war, where the horrors and ugly realities opened every evening news broadcast. It had been an ill-advised, badly run failure, costing thousands of lives and devastating parts of Southeast Asia in ways that still echo. Everyone knew it, and was adamant to avoid getting pulled into such an obvious quagmire ever again. And secondly, the culmination of the Watergate scandal in 1974. For some of you younger folks, the TLDR on Watergate is this. Richard Nixon was running for re-election in 1972 and not feeling great about it. He paid a crew of super geniuses to break into the headquarters of the Democratic Party at the swanky Watergate Hotel to plant some listening devices. But they effed up and got caught. Nixon and his cronies then tried to cover it all up, and a couple of hero journalists at the then vaunted Washington Post eventually broke the story wide open. There were 2 years of congressional and Justice Department investigations, government hearings that preempted afternoon cartoons forever. And ultimately, Dick, I am not a crook, Nixon, and 42 others were found guilty. 26 people went to prison. Nixon felt that going through an impeachment would actually be too shameful. Imagine that. And resigned. The wheels of the justice system designed by our forefathers had worked exactly as it was supposed to. In 1976 America, Watergate had left many people genuinely shocked, appalled, and disappointed that a president would engage in criminal behavior, that he was secretly recording people in the Oval Office, and that the tapes would capture him speaking of his colleagues and his opponents in vulgar, racist, anti-Semitic, and F-bomb-laden tirades. Because you see, there was an odd thing back then called the dignity of the office. People actually felt that the office of the President of the United States, both the physical place in the White House and the storied space occupied by a human man, were imbued with the well wishes and highest expectations and endeavors of its citizens. And the weight of the memory and the sentiment for the 45 men, some truly great and a few quite truly not, who have gazed from beyond that desk. And now the bunting is back for America's 250th anniversary, our sesquicentennial. Every big company and household product is doing a tie-in. Georgia has a new commemorative license plate. And the Benjamin Patterson Inn is now a full-fledged educational center about the colonial era. And our country is indeed still here. Which leads me back to the corner of 141 and McGinnis Ferry last April. Staying out of endless wars lasted until 1991, Kuwait, and a series of Middle Eastern quagmires since then. No more crooked commanders-in-chief? Yeah. How did we get here? What did I miss, and how did I miss it? The creeping fat shadow of insatiable, corpulent capitalism. The sly shift from balanced communication to endless infotainment. The calculated erasure of names like W.E.B. Du Bois, Thomas Paine, and Eleanor Roosevelt by corporatized education. Future academic careers will be made by studying just the past 6 years alone. I don't have any good answers for how we got here. But I can tell you what my dad, Bob Bayless, hey Dad, always reminded me, which was to expect the unexpected. My sister has lived in Prague for 17 years. In 1976, Prague was well ensconced in Czechoslovakia behind the Iron Curtain. The hero of the 1976 Olympics was Bruce Jenner. Here's what's giving me some hope. Among the top-selling albums of 1976 were more than a few people who are still out there making music today, including the Rolling Stones, Judas Priest, Bob Dylan, and Paul McCartney. There are exceptional people living through these dispiriting days alongside us, observing, analyzing, synthesizing, catalyzing through words, music, art, and media we don't even know about yet, who will emerge as the new voices of wisdom and spirit and memory and knowledge. May their ideas flourish like new flora and fauna in our changing climate. So I couldn't not be out there last April or last October or with some of you on March 28th, limping though we may be to whatever comes next. As for me, I'm still standing here on the edge of 70 years. And if you'll please indulge me a moment longer, I'd like to close with some words from William Faulkner. The past is never dead. It's not even past. All of us labor in webs spun long before we were born, webs of heredity and environment, of desire and consequence, of history and eternity. Haunted by wrong turns and roads not taken, we pursue images perceived as new, but whose provenance dates to the dim dramas of childhood, which are themselves the ripples of consequences echoing down the generations. The quotidian demands of life distract from this resonance of images and events, but some of us feel it always. Thank you.
And further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share their time, treasure, and talents. With this, we will now take the offering. You may also use the Give Now option in the Breeze app or the web browser. Our 50-50 recipient this month is the North Fulton Community Charities.
our closing hymn, number 151, I Wish I Knew How, from the hardback hymnal.
Let us extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Of History and Hope by Miller Williams. We have memorized America, how it was born and who we have been and where. In ceremonies and silence, we say the words, telling the stories, singing the old songs. We like the places they take us. Mostly, we do. The great and all the anonymous dead are there. We know the sounds of all the sounds we brought. The rich taste of it is on our tongues. But where are we going to be, and why, and who? The disenfranchised dead want to know. We mean to be the people we meant to be, to keep on going where we meant to go. But how do we fashion the future? Who can say how, except in the minds of those who call it now? The children, and how does our garden grow? With waving hands, rarely in a row, and flowering faces, and brambles that we can no longer allow. Who were many people coming together cannot be one people falling apart. Who dreamed for every child and even chance cannot let luck alone turn doorknobs or not. Whose law has never so much of the hand as the head, cannot let chaos make its way to the heart, who have seen learning struggle from teacher to child, cannot let ignorance spread itself like rot. We know what we have done and what we've said, and how we have grown, degree by small degree, believing ourselves toward all we have tried to become, just and compassionate, equal, able, and free. All this in the hands of children, eyes already set on a land we can never visit. It isn't there yet, but looking through their eyes, we can see what our long gift to them may come to be if we can truly remember. They will not forget. Go in peace and enjoy your week.